Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.
172 then for New Zealand after being put into bat in this afternoon game against Scotland in Dubai. Would you take that if you were New Zealand? In spite of a finish that saw just 22 runs in the last 3 overs, they got there. Courtesy of one man effectively. Everyone else struggled, but Martin Guptill with more than half the runs for his side. On Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 timeout powered by Dell. Let's find out with Peter Borren and Ajit Agarkar. The 172 would make New Zealand happy. Ajit, would it?
Very happy. I think that's a good score. We've seen what I think a successful chase is 155 or something at this ground.
Yes.
And even though it's the afternoon game and perhaps the pitch may play a bit better late afternoon, that's still a lot of runs for Scotland to score, who've struggled particularly with their bat. So, and a little disappointing after the position they put themselves in with the ball to let New Zealand get off.
Yeah, 100%. It 3 quick wickets, Peter. It wasn't just New Zealand that got off. It was effectively one guy that got off in Martin Guptill.
I think, I'm 100% in agreement with Ajit. It was disappointing from a Scottish perspective. If you look at that power play, after Watt bowled his first over in the 7th over, what were they? They were 53 for 3 after 7. Well, that was including Sharif having bowled 2 overs, 2 for 2, and Watt bowling 1 over, 1 for 1. So that's 3 overs, 3 for 3. And the other 4 overs have gone for 50. And we sort of saw that throughout the innings. They then had a couple of overs which went okay with Watt and Greaves. They had a drinks break after 10 overs. And they've got Watt bowling well, Greaves bowling okay. What they do after the drinks break, they bring back Ali Evans. He gets pumped. And then they put Michael Least, the part-time off spinner, on at the other end, and all momentum was gone, and the innings was basically gone. Guptill, he batted beautifully. He struck it really, really nicely. But I think Scotland will look back, and tactically they might have got a few things wrong there today.
Yeah, how about even in the power play? Ajit Safyan Sharif looked the bowler who was threatening New Zealand. The minute he got those 2 wickets, we didn't see him until the 16th. Perhaps a trick missed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially when you're playing, the bigger teams, if you like, and you've got them on the mat, so to speak. There is something in the pitch which is helping. They are under a bit of pressure. They know they have to win. New Zealand. There's if they slip up here, they could potentially struggle to qualify. So all those things consider, you tactically, like Peter said, you have to be spot on, and they did miss. You don't want to leave the game too late, and this is exactly what happens because the more experienced teams and with a bit more quality will then make it up. So you want to try and whatever pressure you created, try and keep it in them. Hammer it in, maybe get another wicket, perhaps 2. Already New Zealand playing a longest tail. You knew that, so at that stage another wicket certainly helps. And if you don't bowl your best bowler at that stage or best bowler on the day at that stage, that's certainly a trick missed. Those are the decisions that you want. You don't want to leave it. You don't want to think about what's going to happen in the 18th and 19th over, especially when you've got a team under pressure in the first 3 or 4.
What explains an innings, Peter, where one guy's got 93 of 56 and the rest of the team's got 59 of 64?
I think a couple of things. One, I think he got to face. He was on strike for quite a bit of that Wheel and Ali Evans, what they were bowling there in the power play. But also Guptill presents the full face, doesn't he? So if you pitch up, he's going to hurt you down the ground. But we saw as well from Scotland today, some of those seamers, they bowled halfway down. Not really the proper short ball at head height, but just halfway down. And he's not bad on the pull shot at medium pace. He's going to hit them a long way. And we saw of his, what he hit 7 or 8 sixes, I think at least, maybe 6 of them were half track as pull shots. And, he hits it clean, because if you look at Glenn Phillips at the other end, he really struggled going at a run a ball or less, because he prefers a wicket maybe with a little bit more bounce. You see him camping back. If you hit a length here, it skids through. Guptill, he presented the full face. He's a clean hitter of the ball, and he's been in this tournament so far. He's had a couple of starts, hasn't he? He's had a little bit of a bat. Maybe the other guys, Phillips, hasn't batted much as yet. So he's probably in pretty good touch and confident, Martin Guptill.
Yeah, you think
just to add to that, I mean, even when he was knackered, he had nothing left. They were
Yeah.
bowling half trackers to him, trying to bowl into the pitch. I know they were trying to use the longer boundary, one boundary was short, but if there is no power the batsmen have, try and make him hit down the ground, bowl a bit fuller. Let him, he obviously got nothing left in his tank. Sitting back in his crease and slapping it square of the wicket is a lot easier at that point. Yeah, so Scotland, after putting themselves in such a good position, have let the advantage slip. A really good innings from Guptill, but at times they made it a little bit easier for him.
Yeah, 100%. At 35, and I know it's only 32 degrees officially in Dubai today, but it feels a lot hotter in the afternoon when you've batted at the Dubai Stadium. But that is an important innings personally, you think, Ajit, for a Martin Guptill too. I was reading some stuff on New Zealand's likely 11s on a number of platforms where there were quite a few that didn't even have Guptill to start. They said the best New Zealand 11 might well feature Conway and Williamson up top. So Martin Guptill with an important innings, perhaps personally at least.
Yeah, it is, and at a crucial stage as well. And okay, you might say it's against Scotland, but the situation, they were in trouble. They have to win this game. Uh, that's when experienced players. That's why I feel you need enough experience around the group. To around the younger players, that when the situation arises, you play a little bit differently. And he's shown it today. I mean, he still again even against India, he struck the ball beautifully. Uh, so it doesn't look like he's not in form, but in this innings will certainly help because it is not the easiest of places to bat. The UAE, you've got to perhaps spend a bit of time at the crease. You may not get off to some of the flyers that we normally see in T20 cricket. Respect the conditions a bit, and then you'll be rewarded. Which he certainly can hit a long ball and scores very quickly. We know that. So this innings will certainly be a massive positive for New Zealand.
All right, 173. Scotland now to get anywhere near this, Peter? How do they go about it?
Yeah, I think if you look at, they're going to have to take a leaf out of Guptill's book in terms of how he started with the full face. You look on a wicket like this and the way that Phillips sort of struggled. I look at George Munsey. If they're going to get anywhere near this total, he's their aggressive player, but he does look a little bit square of the wicket at times. Hopefully he can present a little bit more of a full face. If they can get to that through that power play, as I said before the innings, you've got Barrington and McLeod through the middle, who should be all right. They're going to have to face Sodhi and Santner, though. That's going to be a challenge. We saw Mark Watt. I mean, he was just excellent, wasn't he? I mean, 4 overs for 13 is ridiculous when you go for 172. So Sodhi and Santner are going to be a challenge through the middle. But yeah, a good start. Let's not see the Scotland team 3 down in the first 6 because that's what they've been dealing with so far in the tournament. If they're not, then they can have a bit of a crack at this one, hopefully.
Are they outbatted effectively? Looking at the numbers at Dubai, Ajit, or does 170 still give them some hope?
You'd have to think it's I mean it's a comfortable score it's a really good score for New Zealand.
Yeah.
I'm with Peter. I think I would have said just consolidate at the start. They might have to still be a little bit more aggressive, but you don't want to lose in the first 6. I think you're going to face some really good quality bowlers, so maybe show a bit more respect. If they bowl a bad ball, try and hit it. Don't try to score 70 or 75 of the first 6. I don't think it's worked on most occasions in the UAE. So be a bit smart. Even if you score a few less, if you have wickets in hand, who knows what happens later on. But losing 2 or maybe 3 wickets in the power play will certainly finish the game off, because that's a lot of runs to score now. When you have to score almost close to 9 runs and over, you need a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a New Zealand side that hardly let India get on to more than a run a ball in their last game, so they know how to bowl. Peter Borren, Ajit Agarkar, let's get more from you as the day goes on. Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 timeout powered by Dell. Does look like this is New Zealand's game comfortably, but we're waiting for Scotland to show us a bit more of what they're capable of. Certainly a better team, like Peter Borren says, than we've seen. So let's see if we see some evidence of that in this innings.
Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more, Dell.